is mined just 6 months of the year in Scandinavia.
Dennis DeBautte, artist, sculptor, welder. For many, beauty is ephemeral. For DeBautte's artistry, beauty is forever. Created with materials born of the earth. Aluminum, granite, copper, silicone, marble. DeBautte combines dissimilar materials in an aesthetically pleasing way. Functional art, made to last, an enduring icon of our time, reaching out to the future. Here we see the artist at his studio, pursuing his vision. Dennis DeBautte's grandfather's great-grandfather moved here in 1847 when his revolutionary ideas of democracy got him thrown into prison in Bordeaux, France. He settled along the bayou in what would become Lucy, Louisiana. An educated man, he was a teacher, magazine editor, and renowned for his fiery temper.
I'm proud to have grown up in a city as rich and diverse in culture as New Orleans. I remember walking to school under the dew-soaked trees, gazing down at the wrought iron fences and up at the classic mansions that line Louisiana Avenue. It gave me an incredible sense of the endurance of man's creation to realize that most of this fine architecture was constructed before the Civil War. At the same time, it gave me a sense of the transience of our time here. After school, I would watch my grandfather and mentor, a welder by trade, as he used to cut a car in half with his torch. I loved to watch as the molten metal dropped to the ground and splattered. I love metal sculpting, but on my terms. I sculpt for my studio outside of New Orleans. The slow flow of the water down the bayou and the moss-draped cypress trees put me at one with nature, more or less in touch with my heritage. It helps ease the long hours of meticulous work. Yes, it takes a lot of work and time to sculpt a piece. However, the time it takes is dwarfed almost to insignificance when compared to the eternity that a piece will last. This concept gives me great pleasure. The enduring permanence of my art means that my work will still be here long after I am gone. What is avant-garde today will one day be a classic, a relic to be passed on to your grandchildren's children. I try to stay ahead of my time with my designs so that in the future they will still be thought of as modern. The hours are long and hard, and the weather is hot. As the day creeps on, seconds turn to minutes, and minutes to hours. Each handmade piece starts to take on its own shape as the rhythm of the day progresses. love to work with the elements, especially aluminum. I slowly shape, refine, and define each piece until in my mind's eye, I envision what no one has seen before, the future. I pull inspiration from nature around me, the moss blowing in the wind, the sunset as it touches the water. As I work under the grape terrace, I wonder how many glasses of wine will be sipped from this table that I am now creating. A few final welds to grind, a touch of the sander, and a final inspection. Then I sign each piece, DeBautte. I date it, and I number it. Then literally, a final touch, my fingerprint in the wet protective coating. Talk about satisfaction. That's as satisfying as a boat ride in the sunset.
It's a well-known fact that New Orleans introduced coffee to America, that it introduced granulated sugar to the world, that this is the home of jazz, the home of Cajun cooking and Creole cuisine. There are so many things for which New Orleans is famous, but there's something you may not know, something New Orleans introduced to America that changed it deeply, sensually, something you probably use every day and every night of your life. Here, over 150 years ago, a little New Orleans shop introduced perfume to America. Bourbon French, the oldest perfumer in America, is still here, still blending and keeping alive the original fragrances from so long ago. Now creating new and arousing individual perfumes for some of the world's most exciting personalities. The story of the Bourbon French Perfume Company is entwined with New Orleans history. It began in the late 1800s in France, where J.H. Tyndall, a young chemist, along with his two colleagues, created a tonic for topical use to lower fever. Napoleon Bonaparte discovered the tonic, relished its sensual aroma, and began using it as a cologne, using an average of a bottle a day. He named the cologne 4711 after the address of the building in which it was created. He did so to celebrate his historical decree that address numbers be assigned to each building in Paris. After Napoleon's death, young Tyndall came to New Orleans, bringing the unique 4711 cologne. Here, he met fellow Frenchman and perfumer Auguste Dussault. Together, they marketed Napoleon's favorite cologne as Eau de Cologne. The Bourbon French Perfume Company still carries that identical fragrance with its original label still printed in French. Another original, Couscous, Auguste Dussault's signature fragrance for women, is also still available in its original form. The Bourbon French Perfume Company prospered. For New Orleans, the most romantic and least inhibited city in America, has never denied itself any of life's earthly pleasures. The high-living, sophisticated Creole culture, which came into its golden age during the 19th century, gave the city a reputation for sensuousness, opulence, and appreciation for all the finer things. Abundant food and drink, imported coffees, aromatic tobaccos, exquisite clothing, and wondrous, enticing fragrances. New and exotic fragrances were discovered in Louisiana and through the Central and South American shipping trade. Soon, customers throughout the New World and Europe were placing orders with Bourbon French. The constantly growing business required help, and 17-year-old Marguerite Acker was hired to learn the art of perfumery. She quickly became Tyndall's star pupil. She was blessed with le nez, or the nose, a perfumer's unique talent for correctly identifying the ingredients of perfume by its scent and for blending new scents. Over the next 100 years, Marguerite and her descendants kept the art of perfume alive in New Orleans. Little has changed over those years. Fashions in perfume may change, but methods used in manufacturing fine fragrances remain constant. The best methods are still the simplest, the most direct, the most natural. At Bourbon French Perfume Company, all recipes are made this way, created by hand in small batches and judged at every step. Bourbon French Perfume Company, located in a quaint little shop in the heart of the French Quarter on Jackson Square, has carried on the romance, mystery, and tradition of fine fragrance for over a century and a half. New Orleans' oldest perfumer, Bourbon French specializes in creating individual fragrances, as well as offering their own unique signature perfumes and colognes. The most unusual being Napoleon Bonaparte's cologne, 4711, or Eau de Cologne for men. Couscous, Dussault's original signature fragrance for women, and Voodoo Love Cologne. This exclusive fragrance recreates the mysterious love perfume used by New Orleans women during the early 19th century to gain the affection of a particular lover. Legend has it, Marie Laveau gave this special potion only to her most favored clients, for Voodoo Love perfume was said to possess powers that never failed. The Voodoo bottle instructs the wearer to place 1 drop of Voodoo Love perfume behind the right earlobe, then draw a cross over your heart with the scent. The object of your affection will be powerless to resist you. The Bourbon French Perfume Company on Jackson Square. A beautiful, sensual, uniquely New Orleans affair. Or experience the authentic, fragrant magic of bygone days.